It sort of rehashed old revelations with a new twist. As it turns out, we've apparently been wrong all along.
Expose her relationship with Prince Andrew, her sexual relationship with Prince Andrew.
It was planned from the beginning. She denied being interested in the royal family, which she totally was. I know someone who knows the ex-husband who said she had a vision board with Prince Harry on it.
Just a few days ago, a new video, allegedly showing Meghan Markle, whose lawyers paid millions to hide it, started spreading fast online. And reports say her legal team reacted immediately. Urgent calls, takedown requests, and formal notices sent across multiple platforms. Total crisis response mode.
I've already settled it for myself, so flattery and criticism go down the same drain, and I'm quite free.
Piers Morgan posted on X, "We're about 2 months away from the sex tape."
And in the tape, she's performing a sex act on him that's unbelievable.
It's interesting how she's exposing her as a yacht girl, someone who was paid off by rich men to go and hang out.
What happens when a shaky, grainy clip shows up online and suddenly everyone decides it's either the missing proof they've been waiting for or the ugliest kind of internet pile-on? And why is it that the moment lawyers allegedly start firing off takedown notices, people don't calm down, they sprint in the opposite direction like someone just yelled, "Free samples"? All right, let's talk about the video that's been spreading fast, the reaction it's reportedly triggered, and why this one has the whole Meghan Markle discourse acting like it just found a secret door behind a bookshelf. And before we go any further, quick reality check, because I'm not playing the internet's favorite game of let's turn rumors into gospel. This is all being discussed online as alleged, unverified, and heavily argued. I can't confirm what's in the clip, who's in it, when it was filmed, or whether it's even the person people say it is. What I can do is walk through why it's blowing up, what people are claiming, what the counterarguments are, and what the bigger pattern is with how viral controversies work. So if you're here for a calm, careful breakdown with a little side-eye and a little fan banter, you're in the right place. And if you like this kind of pause the chaos and actually think content, hit subscribe now so you don't miss the next twist, because these stories move like smoke. 1 minute it's a spark, next minute it's a full wildfire. Now, the core claim going around is that a new video surfaced allegedly showing Meghan at a luxury yacht party in the summer of 2016 before she met Prince Harry, appearing very close to an older, wealthy man in a private, high-end party environment. That's the headline version. The internet version, though? Oh, the internet version comes with 10 extra side plots, a conspiracy corkboard, and at least one person yelling, "Connect the dots," like they're in a detective movie. And apparently, according to the chatter, her legal team reacted quickly. People are saying there were urgent calls, takedown requests, formal notices going out across multiple platforms, the whole crisis response vibe. Now, whether that's fully accurate or partly exaggerated by the rumor mill, the effect is the same. Once the public believes something is being suppressed, curiosity doubles, sometimes triples. Because the internet hears, "Please remove this," and translates it as, "Congratulations, you just confirmed it's important." That's not me endorsing that logic. I'm saying that's how the machine behaves. So why is this clip being treated like a big deal? Because it's landing inside a story people already think they know. And when something new shows up that seems to fit a narrative, whether it's real, misidentified, edited, or out of context, people don't approach it like a court case. They approach it like a season finale. Now, let's zoom out. The debate isn't only about the clip itself, it's about what people think it represents. On one side, you've got critics saying, "This is revealing, this confirms what we suspected, this explains the image building, this rewrites the timeline." On the other side, you've got supporters saying, "It's misleading, it's a blurry clip being used as a weapon. Similar looking isn't the same. This is a smear campaign, and the internet loves a target." And then there's a third group, which is honestly the biggest group in any viral drama. People who don't even know what's true, but they know it's entertaining, and they're here for the comment wars like it's pay-per-view. If that's you, no judgment. Just don't pretend it's investigative journalism. Now, part of what's fueling the outrage is the way the clip is being framed. Luxury yacht, wealthy guests, private party vibe, exclusive energy. That's where the yacht girl phrase gets dragged in, an online gossip term people use to hint at a certain kind of elite party circuit. Let's be careful here, because this is where the internet gets reckless. That label is often thrown around with zero proof and a whole lot of implication. It's the kind of term that can be used to shame women, to flatten complex career paths into one nasty rumor with a single word. And it's also a term that has become basically a meme in certain gossip spaces. Say it, and people fill in the blanks with whatever story they already want to believe. So yes, it's being used in the chatter, but it's not a fact label. It's a rumor-flavored accusation people toss around when they want the story to feel darker than the available evidence. And this is also why the clip is being important to so many people. Not because anyone has proven anything, but because it conveniently plugs into existing theories about fame, access, and the social ladder. Now, people keep pulling the timeline into this. From 2011 to 2017, Meghan starred on Suits. Online commentators often repeat numbers about earnings per episode and suggest she would have been doing well financially. And then they point to lifestyle posts from around 2014 to 2016. Travel, hotels, fashion, flights, and argue the lifestyle looked bigger than the salary. Supporters counter. Brand partnerships exist, perks exist, friends exist, comped travel exists. Acting income isn't the only income, and not every nice photo equals some secret funding pipeline. Both sides can spin that endlessly, because the truth is, social media is a highlight reel, and outsiders never actually know the full mix of income, freebies, connections, or timing. But if you want to understand the internet's psychology of this, it's simple. People love the numbers don't add up stories. It makes them feel like they're solving something, like Sudoku, but with celebrities. Now there's the Soho House angle that always shows up in these discussions. A private members club, celebrity networking, photos with people like Marcus Anderson, all that. Critics frame it like, aha, the gatekeepers, the introductions, the pipeline. Supporters frame it like, yes, that's literally what a networking club is for. It's not a secret society, it's expensive socializing. And honestly, that second explanation is boring, which is why the first explanation wins attention. Because the internet doesn't reward, maybe it's normal. It rewards, what if it's a plot? Now, the moment you mention these circles, people start tossing in bigger, uglier names, Andrew, Epstein, because some online commentators love to escalate. But here's where I'm going to plant a flag. Throwing those names around without hard evidence is exactly how rumor culture turns into defamation as entertainment. So if you see people claiming there were links or that she must have been around certain individuals, understand what that often is, a narrative leap, not a documented fact set, not proof, a leap. And the reason people make that leap is because it's the darkest possible version of the story, and dark versions spread faster. Now let's come back to the clip. The way it's described in the chatter is filmed from a distance, loud music, drinks, laughing, yacht deck, party scene. People claim it shows a woman who looks exactly like Meghan, and the report it stands from her side, according to the online talk, is basically mistaken identity. That's the heart of it, identity. And this is where internet sleuthing goes from silly to scary. Because people aren't just saying, looks like, they start listing evidence. They'll point to jewelry, like a Cartier-style bracelet. They'll compare hairstyles, posture, the way someone laughs, hand gestures, how someone touches their hair, that signature head tilt. They'll do side-by-sides like they're matching fingerprints. But the problem is, humans are pattern-finding machines. We see faces in clouds. We see proof in coincidence. And if you already believe someone is in a clip, you'll interpret every movement as confirmation. At the same time, yes, it's also true that people can recognize distinctive mannerisms. That's why celebrity look-alike videos fool people, and also why they sometimes get debunked. So what you get is the internet's favorite kind of chaos, just enough resemblance to keep the argument alive, and just enough uncertainty that nobody can shut it down cleanly. And because it's not clean, it becomes a content farm. Reaction videos, frame-by-frame breakdowns, slowed-down enhancements,
dramatic captions and 1,000 "here's what they don't want you to see" thumbnails. If you've ever wondered why these stories never die, it's because the controversy itself becomes a product. People monetize the conversation more than the truth. Now, the hottest part of the debate, based on how people are reacting, isn't even who it is, it's the vibe people claim the footage shows. Critics are saying the body language looks relaxed, familiar, comfortable. They describe dancing closely with an older, wealthy-looking man, laughter, leaning in. They frame it as "not strangers." Supporters say that's projection, that you can't turn a few seconds of party footage into a biography, and that even if it was her, being at a party isn't a crime, and adults can exist in wealthy spaces without it meaning something sinister. And this is where the conversation splits into two different arguments that people keep mixing up. One, is it her? Two, if it is her, what does it mean?
Those are separate questions. The internet mashes them together like a blender because it's more dramatic that way. Now, you also have people tying this to her public story and public image. Critics argue she presented herself as just a working actress and later built a very controlled public brand. They claim this kind of alleged footage clashes with that, and they use it to imply strategy and positioning and climbing. Supporters argue everyone has strategy, everyone networks, people are allowed to evolve, and a person's past can't be rewritten by a blurry clip and a rumor thread. And here's the part nobody wants to admit out loud. A lot of this isn't about evidence, it's about which version of her people prefer. Some people prefer the victim of unfair media version. Some people prefer the master manipulator version. This clip, real or not, becomes a Rorschach test. People stare at it and see what they already believe. Now, let's talk about the legal PR angle, because that's where the mystery feeling really kicks in. Online chatter claims there were takedown attempts. If that's true, the reason it matters is because legal pressure sends a signal. Not always a signal of guilt, but a signal of risk. Companies and public figures send takedowns for all kinds of reasons: privacy, defamation, impersonation, copyright, platform policy, harassment concerns, you name it. And sometimes legal teams avoid public statements because the worst thing you can do is give oxygen to something that would have died in a corner. There's also that classic phenomenon people always mention, the Streisand effect. The idea that trying to suppress something can draw more attention to it. That's real as a cultural pattern, even if it doesn't apply in every single case. So the internet starts asking, if it's fake, why not just laugh it off? And the answer is, because famous people don't always get to laugh things off. Not when false claims can become common knowledge overnight. Not when the goal of some accounts is simply to keep the controversy alive. But critics flip that and say, if it's harmless, why the urgency? And that's how the mystery loop forms. No matter what you do, someone uses it as proof of their side. Now, another piece people keep dragging in is the royal timeline. Meghan and Harry met in 2016, publicly framed as a connection through a mutual friend with social circles overlapping. Critics say too convenient. Supporters say that's literally how modern introductions work. Then the internet starts piling on the did he know, didn't he know speculation. And because it's a relationship the public already argues about, any new rumor becomes fuel. And again, none of us knows what private conversations happened. The internet loves to pretend it can narrate somebody else's marriage like it's a scripted show. Real life does not come with confessionals, no matter how badly commentary channels want them. Now, the conversation gets even messier when people bring up broader topics like mental health and hardship. Some critics take shots like, how can you talk about struggle if you've had luxury? And that's where the internet reveals its emotional immaturity, because mental health doesn't check your bank balance before it shows up. People can be privileged and still suffer. People can struggle financially and still be emotionally resilient, and everything in between. You can dislike someone and still not turn mental health into a debate club weapon. So when you see that part of the outrage, recognize it for what it often is, not concern, but a convenient way to delegitimize somebody's pain.
Now, let's talk about the what happens next part, because that's the real reason people are glued to this. If the clip keeps circulating, you'll see 3 likely paths. Path 1, it fizzles. The internet gets bored, a newer scandal shows up, and this becomes that thing people vaguely remember. Path 2, it mutates. More alleged versions appear. More accounts claim new angles. More out-of-context clips get stitched into montages. It becomes a Franken-story. Path 3, it escalates into a bigger media cycle. Not because it's proven true, but because enough people keep talking that bigger outlets start covering the coverage. Not reporting the facts, but reporting that it's trending, that people are reacting, that it's being debated. And that's the sneaky trick of modern media. Sometimes the story isn't the event. The story is the reaction to the event. Now, there's also the moderation angle. Some users claim copies are getting removed from certain places. Others claim mirrors keep popping up. Both can be true. Platforms remove things for policy reasons all the time, and the internet re-uploads things all the time. This is why digital culture experts always say the same thing. Once something spreads widely, total removal becomes extremely difficult. So if you're asking, can this be erased? The honest answer is, the original might disappear, but the conversation and the re-uploads can keep going for a long time. Which brings us back to the core question. Why does this matter so much to people? Because it's not just a clip, it's a battleground for competing stories. Was her rise purely talent and hustle, or was it also connections and strategy? Is the public narrative carefully curated or unfairly attacked? Are people looking at evidence or looking for a reason? And how much of what we know about public figures is just internet folklore repeated until it feels true? That's the real mystery here. Not the yacht, not the bracelet, not the slow-motion analysis like we're decoding the Zapruder film. It's the bigger question of how quickly the internet can build a truth out of vibes, edits, and repetition. Now, let me toss this back to you because I actually want to know how you're reading it. Do you think this is one of those moments where the internet is genuinely on to something? Or is it another example of how a blurry clip becomes a weapon when people already want to hate? And here's a second one. If you can't confirm identity and context, do you think it's ever fair to treat something like this as character-defining? Drop your take in the comments because I already know the replies are going to be split straight down the middle, and I want to see which arguments actually hold up when people explain them without screaming. And if you want more breakdowns like this, royal drama, media strategy, and the weird psychology of viral scandals, hit like, subscribe, and stick around. These stories don't just happen, they get engineered by attention, and that's what makes them so addictive to watch. At the end of the day, here's what we can say without pretending we're judges. A clip is being claimed, a narrative is being pushed, a counter-narrative is pushing back, and the internet is doing what it always does, turning uncertainty into entertainment. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.